What's up guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to the 8th repertoire of the Dynamite Universal Opening, the King's Indian Defense. Yes, after 4 months this video was coming. It got a bit late, but today I'm gonna, as you have read the title, today's video is against one of the most trickiest lines and one of the most struggling lines, the Sàmisch variation. And again, there's a bonus point in today's video. What is the bonus? The bonus is in the today's video. I'm not gonna give you one trick, but rather two tricks against the Sàmisch. So that's a big one. So let's go. But before starting, if you haven't subscribed my channel yet, subscribe it right now. Let's go. So I think 7 repertoires is much, and we know the setup of the King's Indian. D4, knight f6, and I'll roll it fast. So this is like the basic, the basic structure of the King's Indian. Now decide what are the variations. I mean, white can go knight f3, bishop g5, bishop e2, f4. But when white plays the move f3, it's the Sàmisch variation. What are we gonna do? We're gonna castle on the king side, and white goes bishop e3. So till now it's the main line, and now starts our trick. Here we have two moves. So the trick starts because we have two moves. What are the moves? Knight b to d7 or knight to c6. Personally, I like the move knight b d7. It's more logical, and also the engine prefers knight b d7 over knight c6. So, but we'll look at both of them. First, we're gonna look at the move knight to b d7. Now, game continues. White goes queen to d2, and with the general principle, we strike in the center with the move d5. See, the idea of the move f3, I didn't tell you, the idea of f3 is to support the move g4. And the g4 comes h4, and this means an attack. Yes, Sàmisch is all about attacking the king. Because if f3, g4, h4, and h5, in the main line, we attack on the white, like white attacks on the queen side. But in Sàmisch, it's opposite. It's like the Makhoganov, and they attack, white attack on the king side. So f3 is really dangerous. I mean, it looks very scary, but you don't worry. e5. So if white has to attack, it has to close the center. Whenever you have to attack, you have to close the center. So what does white do? d5. And here we have a lot of moves actually. The best move by engine is knight c5. The point is the bishop cannot come to d3. It looks very logical, but when the move b4 comes, I mean, what is happening? Knight goes back. Computer, I mean, I don't know why it's this, because white just got better. I mean, white basically starts an attack here and even there, and white is just completely almost destroying black. So what I suggest, a better move, which according to computer is not, but according to the human perspective is the move a5. The point is now we can go knight c5 and there is no b4. Well, here the most logical move is a bishop to d3, but what many players go is bishop at 6. So bishop d3 is the more general way. I mean, you can also go knight ge2, but bishop d3 is also fine. This is the basically the principal way. In both of these variations, black is fine. Black is doing really good. But now in the modern era, most of the games continue with bishop at 6, and you will not see. I mean, with this trap, I have like trapped most of my opponents. Like most of my opponents get trapped in this one. I've got like 13 opponents in this trap. This is a crazy trap. So after bishop at 6, it looks like white is doing really good. The thing is, this bishop is like the bone of this center, this king territory, this kingdom. And if this bishop goes, it's all over. I mean, the pawns are gonna come and just bash up. So bishop at 6, but instead we have a dynamite strike. Dynamite strike. Knight takes e4. That is a brutal move. First of all, white has to accept this sacrifice, because if white goes here, we take the queen, and we just want a queen. We win a queen, we're just simply doing more than +8. So white has to accept the sacrifice. It doesn't matter. White takes with the knight or the pawn. It does not really matter. Let's say, I mean, most of the opponents will take with the pawn so that they can open this line for the attack. But don't realize this move. Queen to h4. This move does not only give a check but also attacks the bishop. And white, when plays any move like g3, we take the bishop, and black is just a pawn up. This is a completely winning position. If you see the advantage, it's more than almost +3. But the story does not end here. I mean, 2 3 years ago it was fine. So like really good players also were like not doing this, or else they could gone down. But some of the players found out a new variation against this. They started playing this from white. Why? Because they thought they can trade the queen and play this very tricky move, knight to b5, and attacking this pawn. And indeed, there's no way to protect this pawn. We'll say c6. Yeah, c6 will protect this pawn, but then d6 goes. After knight b5, it looks like black is in problem, because if this pawn goes, these two pawns becomes weak. So what? Not like what is black gonna do? I mean, this is very bad, right? I mean, the c pawn is gonna go, knight's gonna come back. See, the thing is, we can't even trap the knight because it's gonna take and gonna go back on b5. So now what's gonna black do? The best move by engine is knight c5. It's very logical. The pawn is attacking the e4 pawn. What I suggest is a very tricky move, another one, and it's the move rook to a6. It's a very fascinating move. The point is we're inducing white to take the pawn, and when white takes, we go rook to b6, attacking the b2 pawn. Now there are two ways to protect this pawn, rather three ways. First b3, rook b1, and bishop and knight b5. Sorry. First, let's cover the move knight b5. If knight b5, we are going to go knight c5, attacking the e4 pawn, and when white goes bishop g2, we have this dynamic struck, knight d3. And wherever the king moves, we just take this pawn, and black is just a pawn up, even attacking the c4 pawn, and you can see that one is more than +5. But there's one thing. Don't just pre-move this move. I mean, it's fine to pre-move because it's a check, but sometimes player might do this move, and you have another way to restrict them. According to the engine, the better move is now off knight takes b2, but you can also play this move, knight f2, and you can take the rook. And that's also a move. So yeah. So knight b5 is not a good idea. What about rook b1? Rook b1 looks logical. A permanent defense on b2, right? Or not? Again, we have knight c5. See, knight c5 is the general thing. Knight c5 we have to play like always. So we attack the e4 pawn. And after bishop g2, can you realize the same trick? It's the exact same trick. Rather, the rook is there, but it doesn't matter. Because the knight d3, we have two attackers. And what we do, rook takes b2. If they take our rook, we take with the knight. And if they take our knight, we take their rook. And we are just completely winning. So it's now very clear that the only way to survive looks like b3. B3 looks like a very good structure, and white also achieves connect 4. But we have a special way to destroy this too. What are we gonna do? We go knight c5. So now we're attacking the e4 pawn. But after bishop g2, we now realize that we don't have the same trick. I mean, we can't go knight d3. I mean, we achieve nothing. So now what I'm gonna do? Well, we have something. Whenever the b pawn comes, who can strike? The c pawn, but it's not here. But the a pawn is here. What we do? Of course, a4. Now there are ways to respond to this move. The first is rook b1. You can take, and here there are a lot of ways. I mean, black is completely winning. The first easy way can just go rook takes b3 and be a solid pawn up, and it's like advantage like +2.7. But if you realize at this point of time, the advantage is more than +3.7. So that's why is that? Well, we can play a lot of moves again. I mean, we can just develop the bishop. We also have this move, f5. F5 is a very good strong move. The point is if they take, we take with the bishop, and now the rook is attacked. If rook b2, knight d3 fork, the rook goes on. The rook can't go to c1 because of the bishop. If they play rook d1, the only move, now we take the pawn, and look at the dynamic piece activity. Each of the pieces in the game. This rook just crushes the king. This rook crushes this bishop, this knight. I mean, and black is just done. I mean, white is just done. I mean, white is just completely losing. We are just one pawn up, literally just one pawn up. And look at the advantage. It's more than plus 11. I mean, minus 11. I'm saying the advantage is more than 11. More than 11. It is brutal. So f5 according to me is the best move. You can also play a very tricky move, knight d3. The point is when the king goes e2, we can go a bit fancy and be like, oh, rook sacrifice. Oh my god. Point is the take. We go knight c1 and the fork. So there are a lot of ways, but black is completely winning all these ways. So here rook b1 is not a good move. What if the take? Well, we're gonna go rook to b2. And we are attacking the bishop. So now what? Now what is gonna happen? So now there are a few moves. The first move I'm gonna consider is knight e2. See, the point is we are attacking the bishop. So if knight to e2, we have this move, knight d3. If king d1, knight f2, and we win the rook. And if king f1, we have so many moves I can't say. I mean, we have just bishop e3, just striking knight f2. We have even bishop g4. We can also play this move. One is by attacking the knight, bishop g4. You can also play f5. The point is the rook is open and it's all over. I mean, that is mate. That is literal mate. That is mate. Oh, wait. What? Yo, that was something really glitch. I don't know what it was that. But that's mate. So, yeah, so white is completely losing. Okay. Oh, what is this happening? Wait a second. What is this glitch? Yo, there's some problem with this. Look at this. What is happening? I don't know. Okay, so if bishop f1, see we can take the pawn. We also have f5. There are same things. Bishop d2, bishop g4, just crushing the king. f5, knight d3, knight takes e4. There are a lot of moves. You can also play this move, bishop f3. The point is they'll not lose the e4 pawn, but they'll lose the king. How? Knight d2. If here, this is mate. And if here, then this is mate. So basically, the new ideology of knight b5 and taking the pawn is completely useless, and there's nothing. I mean, white loses everything. Now let's move on to variation number 2, and that is knight to c6. It's a more attacking approach and more physical. The thing is, the game just can continue like this, and this is something like the normal setup, like here. I mean, you can go here, there, 5, castle, f5, and I think this is a familiar position. In my orthodox variations, I've told you how to play these positions, h5, g5. So yes, I said Sàmisch had to attack here, but sometimes they can do this. They can go f3 and castle the side, because f3 in the orthodox variation also f3 gets played when in this order. So I mean the positions can be interchanged, and white's gonna attack like here, gonna attack there. This is what it is. But I want to show you the trick. And the thing is, because white plays bishop d3, what we do e5, and white goes knight e2. So one thing I want to mention, in this position, the better move and the main line is knight g2 e2. But what many player thinks that their bishop gets blocked. I mean, the bishop is just blocked. So what they do, they think, first I'll double the bishop, and then the knight. There's no problem, right? Except there is. After knight e2, we are gonna play a move which will just shock your opponent. A move which is just unbelievable. Knight to g4. What? What is knight g4? What? Aren't we just losing a piece? Well, now there are 3 responses. The first is of course takes the knight. I mean, the bishop g1 and a very crazy counterattack with d5. First, let's cover the move bishop to g1. In this variation, we are gonna play the move just e takes d4 and just be a healthy pawn up. How? So first we're attacking the knight. So knight goes to d5, and you're gonna play a very tricky move. I mean, we're pawn now, but how to just maintain it? I mean, what to do? Because a knight's under attack, and if we go here, they can take the pawn. Except we have this move, knight to e5. What? But this pawn can now be taken, right? Yes, it can be, but it cannot be. After bishop takes g4, it looks like it's all equal, but we have this dynamic structure. Knight takes f3. The queen takes, we just take the bishop, and that's again a pawn up, and this is a very good position. Very comfortable position. The advantage is more than +3. I mean -3. So bishop g1 does not work. I mean bishop g1 we just get a clear pawn advantage. What if they play d5? But you will think, what is d5? You just take the bishop, right? The queen's under attack. Yes, but what about this? Now the two pieces are hanging. So this is what some players do. They think, I'm gonna attack two pieces. Oh, now what I would do, huh? Now black player thinks, well, we have knight takes g2. And the white player thinks, oh, then you're king f2. Now the black players are like, okay, I'll just move this knight, take that knight. I mean, I'm just attacking you. Yes, this position is completely winning. From +10, it's now +2. I mean, -2. -10 to -2. Why? Because we missed a very good way to attack the opponent. In this position, white has 7 pawns, 4 and 3, and we have 3 and 5, 8 pawns. So if we move the knight and they take the knight, we're just 1 pawn up. It's a good advantage. But rather, we have this dynamic structure move, queen to h4 check. What will I wait? I just take your knight, right? What? But white is just completely losing. Now we have this move, bishop to h3 check. The only move, king g1, and the final blow. You need one blow to end the game, and this is the blow. Bishop h6, the silent killer move, and white just completely lose. The best move is queen takes h6. If like queen to e1, we go bishop to e3. I mean, applesauce crisscross bishops. Queen f2, beautiful mate with the bishop. Look at how the pieces are coordinated. This is a deadless end, beautiful end. So that's why the the move d5 looks like a very strong approach, completely loses. Now let's look at the move, obvious move, f takes g4. Well, now we're gonna just take in the center, attacking the pieces. After knight takes d4, and a take. I mean, if they take, then black is better because now white cannot castle. And we have ideas like queen h4, queen g5, and g4 pawn is like with us. See, if they take, it's very bad. They can castle. We have queen g5, bishop takes g4, and white is again losing. And look at this, we have it has +2, it is -2. I mean, so it's better for white not to take. In this position, we can play queen h4, and yes, this variation will not pawn up or something, but positionally we are a bit better. Black is a bit better because we have more active pieces, and if we coordinate them, we have an attack. In future we can have ideas like f5, we have ideas like c6, d5, c5. We can play bishop e6, just get the rooks like rook e8, rook d8, try to attack on the king side, and we have a good and stable position. So guys, these were the two tricks against the deadly and one of the most trickiest Sàmisch variations. I hope you like this video, and do subscribe. Do like this video and subscribe on my channel. Comment down below on what next variation do you need a video. We have mostly covered the main variations. There are but sideline variations which I'll cover in my coming videos, but do comment down below if I forgot any variation. So I'll meet you in the next video. Till then, be safe, be healthy, and keep watching Incredible Chess.